Hello, everyone. Hello, Master OT student. Welcome to the program 513772, Occupational Science. Today, I'm going to teach you on the topics of enhancing occupational therapy service, occupation center practice, and research. Okay. The first is learning outcome. Insight into the learning outcome is very important when you finish already. You can explain the use of occupation center in OT clinical practice. You can synthesize the use of occupation center, occupation-based, and occupation focus in OT clinical practice through a case study. And the last one, you can analyze the rationale and significance for implementing occupation center practice into OT clinical service. The outline of these topics. First, we try to initiate you about mindsets of occupational learning. The second is definition or defining terminology. What is occupation? Occupation center practice, occupation-based practice, occupation focus. And the third, the rationale between occupation center and occupation-based practice. Fourth, occupation as proximal. In here, I need to metaphor as a whirlpool model that you can understand inside why occupation as a proximal. And fourth, occupational therapy process in occupation center and occupation-based practice. Fifth, how occupation is feel or infused into practice. How to take occupation in practice. Six, dynamics model of occupation-based practice. Seventh, assessment or evaluation, outcome evaluation in occupation center and occupation-based practice. And the last one, significance and limited or limitation of occupation-based practice. It looks like pro and con. It's fit or not in terms of how to take into implement settings, hospital, intermediate care or rehabilitation, and in community or rural area. Okay, go ahead. The first, I would like you to formulate your thinking, your perspective. It looks like set your mindset to wear the new glasses. The new glasses or eyeglasses or contact lens. It put in your eye, right? When you put the contact lens, you can see everything clear. Or you wear the glasses is what we call appropriate with yourself. You can see a vision. You can see what we call the objects in front of you, not just only very close up, but also is far away from you as well. This is, I try to encourage you, formulate your mindsets, okay? I know everyone think that we try to encourage and promote you to think about how to formulate or shift your mindsets. Everyone in occupational therapies, we receive occupation come first, right? If we think that occupation is very important, it's a powerful power of occupation. This is we think that it looks like the car or the bus or the truck or vehicle. This is a vehicle that is you need to choose is relevant with you or not? Is your favorite activity or not? Is this your love or not? Is one you want to do or not? Okay, presumably someone love sport car, someone love truck, someone love to ride a motorbike or big bike. And this is depend on everyone, depend on individual. Sometimes we take long time, we choose bus and let people to drive, right? And if this is the car belong to you, but you need to drive, this is your own way. Okay, why I metaphor activity or occupation as the vehicle? Okay, change your mindset and shift your mindset in terms of we need to know how to drive, how to control car. Okay, how to control the engine. Human being as human or occupational being as a vehicle or walk of life or people have a role to play in various purpose and direction to go. That is the objective or goal or purpose. Occupation are driven by doing, being, becoming, and belonging. That Dr. Surinya taught you already. This is the perspective. Inside in perspective, you can see, you know or not, many components in car. The car parts here. Some people is male, some people know a little, know the engine, carburetor, bunch inside, or the engine, how to use about the battery or something. Car parts of car engine, it looks like a body function, body structure, organ in human being. Is have many systems, oxygen sensor, is watch light, spark plugs, power steering fluid, many things here. Right? This is the component or the car part. Engines and car parts are metaphor for medical science. A view of originate from medical professional like doctor, physician, or physical medicine rehabilitation, or we call PM&R, and physiotherapist. This is relevant or this is represent to occupational therapists or not. Think in your mindset. We occupational therapists, we must fix the car or not. Or this duty, we have many experts, professionals to fix the car, fix the organ, the body function, structure, or the component in human being. We have many experts or in the multidisciplinarity. Or we need to think in terms of another paradigm. That is the root or the basics of our profession, that is occupation. We cannot know everything about the car parts or the engine, and we cannot fix everything in human being, right? In here, what you want to be? We want to be a motor car mechanics, or what we want to be driving as instructor, driving instructor, ครูสอนคนขับรถ What is an occupational therapist? Things in your mind, and you can shift about how to use about this. Very important. If like occupational therapist is the occupation, we need to be driving instructor. We enable client to do their occupation, to do their activity, to engage in activity, and everything is depend on their own way. Look like a coach, driving instructor. We train the passenger, we train the student or our client to drive their own car, to direct to their goal, to go home, to tourist destination, to the Suthep Mountain, or to Lamphun, or to some nice place. It depends on them, right? This is, we cannot fit everything about body function, sensory, cognitive, everything we cannot fix because we need to cooperate with another. But in your own will and our will and therapist will, in terms of occupational therapy, is engage in occupation. We need to enable the client to engage in their occupation, to meaningful activity, purposeful activity. That is the goal of us, right? Okay. Occupational lens is you put about your lens inside in your eye and the occupational perspective. When it's become to occupational perspective, occupational lens you to explore the reasoning and practice what's a key concept framework adopted by occupational therapists. The occupational perspective of health, which consider human need to doing or do, to be, being, becoming, and belonging. What we have to use occupation in therapy, or what we have to use occupation in practice, because we are occupational therapists. This is why occupation is our professional identity. Okay, this is why we need to put inside in your head as occupation center in the long run. Okay, the equal relating occupation to health is comprised of 1D plus 3B equal survival and health. D is represent to doing, 3B is being, becoming, and belonging. Okay, human need to do, to doing in a way that is related to his or her unique being in order to becoming for his or her belonging, who his or her wish to be and participate in place for occupation. Okay, this is very, very important. Be doing, being, becoming, and belonging equal survival and health. Okay, why this is important? Doing is medium through which people engage in occupation and skill and ability need for doing accumulate across the time. Being is the sense of whom someone is as occupational and human being. It's encompass or absorb the meaning they invest in life and their unique physical, mental, social capacity and ability. And becoming is the purposeful process to go. We need to go to the future. We want to be the police officer, soldier, educator, singer, that we develop and want to. And change that reside with a person throughout their life. Want to be a YouTuber or something. It is directly or directed by goal and aspiration or passion, which can arrive through choice or necessity from individual or from group. Some group have drive together, have the passion, have same aspiration. I want to see Thai society is better than the previous time. I don't know. We can imagine in the future. Belonging is a sense of connectedness, a sense of relation to people, to place, to culture. That is belonging. It's in yourself, in your spirit. You very, what we call deep down inside, in the northern style, in Chiang Mai, in the south, or in Bangkok, or in northeast or eastern regions. Community, time, relationship, and essential to being, whether they be with a person, place, group, or other factor. A sense of reciprocity or mutuality or familiarity and sharing characterize belonging relationship, whether they are positive or negative. Now we might receive some good and bad in social media. In near neighboring country like Cambodia, everything's in Thailand, our culture, they think that is their culture. You create like that is you steal or stolen from Cambodia, from Angkor. You can see everything. Sometimes the sense of this is negative, belong to Cambodian people, because it's even things and we use about our what we call our research and study, we can know and we must know it's a long time, it's development. It's not just only everything we duplicate or copy. It needs to be developed and adapt. Human can learn together. Sometimes it's very hard to explain in terms of about the politics across the country. The belonging is very important. It's not just only in positive, but it's negative as well. Just only you keep in mind. Okay, it's positive. It's good way. That's like our what we call relation, our places. Chiang Mai located in like in the valley of the mountains. It's very huge, beautiful area to attract the tourists. That is the tourist destination. I know is the news of the Chiang Mai people. We're gonna have more expand and new buildings of the Chiang Mai International Airport for promote about tourism in Chiang Mai city. Okay, that is look like we sell the resources, sell the culture. We need to economics boom again. It's like that. That is the positive. Okay, occupation that occupation is everyday personal life activity that people do as individual, in family, and with community to occupy time and bring meaning and purpose to life. Occupation can involve execution of multiple activity for completion, and you can result in various outcomes. Occupation is characterized in terms of the first ADL, IADL, and the new one that from OTPF for 2020, health management. Because COVID-19 is very important that individual or group or community or population need to think about health management to tackle with some deterioration or maybe from pandemics, from disease. Okay, rest, and sleep. Education, works, play, leisure, and social participation. This is we call area of occupation. We cannot forget about this if we want to be the real OT. Think about the big umbrella is area of occupation. Human need to do about this, need to engage about this. When you was young until to now, okay? What about insight into occupation center? Occupation center we can describe is the approach where occupation is as a core. It's an approach where occupation is a core. It's a core that includes two bars. That things. One on the website is occupation focus, and another one in the right-hand side we call occupation-based practice. This is course wording by Fisher, Dr. Annie Fisher, 2013. Occupation focus is the information of individual or person, environment, occupation associated with occupational performance that we focus for. On the right-hand side is occupation-based practice. Is the doing of occupation is the main ingredient in terms of how to use this, look like a approach or intervention or the process. Occupation-based is the main ingredient in terms of assessment, intervention, and measure of the outcome or outcome. Occupation-based is characteristic of the best practice method used in occupational therapy, in which the practitioner or OT practitioner use to evaluation process as a type of intervention. We use for assessment, we use for intervention, and look at for the outcome. Actively engage the client in occupation. That is the word or the course by Fisher as well, 2019. Okay, occupation focused practice is initial occupation focus interview is used to understand the occupation which are important. We need to concentrate. Occupation, we need to focus inside, which are important and make up a person routine. Think about individual, think about the group and population. The question might include, tell me about your typical day or weeks, what you can manage, and what are you find challenging to do. That is, we know about typical day or routine or weeks of our client and how to tackle, how to manage, how to do, and what about the challenging to do. Occupation should remain proximal. Keywords, subproximal is very near. We need to think because it's near. Why we to do? Sometimes it's far away. Sometimes we rock climbing is your activity. Go to the rock climbing, to Everest, or maybe to Qingdao mountain. Sometimes okay, it's a dream. Want to go to on top of the mountain one day, but it's this tall, right? Sometimes occupation should be remain proximal to do, okay, that we want to do as well, and we need to do as well. Okay, to discuss Example criteria, how is depression impact on person ability to get their children to school? To me, in the morning, proximal activity, we need to think, okay, wake my son, wake up, it's late already, you choose to go to school, and how to take him to school. Beforehand, take shower, eat breakfast, and wear uniform, everything clean already, tidy already, get into the car and drive the car on time before 8 o'clock, before the national anthem. So that is how to use this occupation in the morning smoothly and correctly. Okay, focus on about this. Occupation-based practice is occupation-based, need to establish assessment. Occupation focus is things about its proximal, it's very important and need to do, must do. If we transfer to the client, it's maybe if they are stroke client, they cannot transfer. They need to be lie down. If they lie on the bed, how to raise up and sit on the bed and transfer from the bed to the wheelchair. Transferability need to do. Best mobility needs to be. This is the basic idea. And after that, how to wear or getting this, how to go to the toilet, how to eat. That is in your occupational therapist need to think about ADL. Come first. Is the first step in terms of stroke client when we engage in, when we give approach for the client in hospital bed or hospital setting. Occupation-based need to establish the assessment. Assessment consists of the person doing as occupation, presumably like people or the client, individual make a cup of coffee in home. The client or person can do or not, how to assess. Intervention, how to adapt them. If assess that client to do this occupation, make a cup of coffee. Intervention, how to adapt them or change the way through the person or the client is doing their occupation from improved performance. If he can or she can do this way, this occupation, to make a cup of coffee, how to encourage them, promote them. This is intervention. Prepare the material, the equipment for this client. Support skill, increase some skill is in part of this occupation. Okay, provide a kettle, tipple, and memory pump. That is the intervention. And the evaluation, measure the outcome, how this individual or person or client is now doing their occupation. It means that measure, could you make a cup of coffee when you want to do? If we try to provide the kettle, tipple, and memory prompts, the techniques already or increase the skill already, and let them do. And after that, to evaluate. That is the target outcome. This is occupation-based, is the ingredient. It includes assessment, intervention, and targeting outcome. Okay. What is the occupation as proximal? This is one kind of the Royal of Occupational Therapy in the British system. They try to make occupation as a proximal. It looks like a whirlpool model. You can see a spiral, its origin. That is the proximal focus on occupation. Occupation as a proximal, presumably eating of the human is very important. Eating. Picture in your mind eating in Thai fried rice, khao pad, by use fork and spoon. We eat fried rice, you didn't use chopstick, right? Knife and fork, okay? This is the Thai way, Thai culture, Thai context. Use fork and spoon and fork, okay? Proximal focus on occupation. Occupation-based focus, a person or our client with stroke will use spoon and fork to eat Thai fried rice within 2 weeks. This is things about in terms of occupation-based goal. Thai occupational therapy is focused on eating with spoon and fork. So the person with stroke can eat Thai food by using spoon and fork. How to prepare, presumably they can weak. Presumably if they weak on the right hand side, they can use the left hand side, and how to use the weak hand to increase the strength to grab forks rather than grab spoon. Practice swap first, and after that, if the ability being better, after that, everything gonna be go and smooth. It needs to be not just only fixed about the body function, but also take them to eating by use spoon and fork. Practice with plastic bead. Practice with the plate or the bowl, and maybe put about the what we call universal cup, and after that make them to be familiar and engage in this occupation, this activity first, this task first. Increase their skill, increase their ability, and let them do about how to eat Thai fried rice. But in terms about this, take time, I know. Physiotherapists focus on shoulder and arm to increase movement and mobility to enable participation. That is the job of the PT do. Have a look. If we duplicate then this gray zone, it look like it's intersect together, interrupt together. Not, is this okay? Sometimes we can do if lack of PT, but PT can help you, but you forgot on how to enable the client to do this occupation. The shoulder and arm movement, that is the PT job to help you, because they expert about this more. They train about this, even though about walking, movement of shoulder as well. This is the distal. It looks like go to very far away from the proximal. The proximal, the client in terms of eating in your head discomfort. What is the doctor or physician do? Physician or doctor focus on medication, reduce symptoms, and eventually enable participation. That is the job of the doctor do. Okay, this is the model of whirlpool model. Is occupation as a proximal is very near and close up of occupation. That is the occupational therapy need to think about this. We still have the whirlpool spiral linked with PT. PT gonna do, physicians or PM are gonna help me again. We are the team in rehabilitation team or interdisciplinary team. We are not Superman. We need to, we need to set the goal and promote the client back to normal or go to their way. Okay, occupational therapy process in occupation center. It's very important. The first in occupational therapy process inside. Think about assessment, intervention, re-evaluation, and referral or refer. That is most of common in terms of health service, right? And inside is different. Occupational therapy process mapping. During evaluation, we need to think about occupational profile. We can read the profile from the medical record, but occupational profile, the occupational therapist need to probe and find and see what is occupational profile, what is the occupational therapy, what is the client they have occupation they can do in the previous time from doing, being, and becoming. And what is belonging? Good insight in occupational profile is the history of client occupation. After that, need to analysis of occupational performance. This is one step, okay? And go to intervention before. After that, still have the target outcome. And target outcome, this is go to look like about evaluation again. Or the targeting outcome. Okay, intervention, you need to think about intervention plan, intervention implementation. Okay, and after that, go to re-evaluation, reanalyze of occupational performance, review the target outcome, and identify action. We need to keep the client, continue to OT, go to intervention again, or discontinue. All of this we need to do all the way through that we work with the client, not just only about the in physical dysfunction field, but also in mental health, in pediatrics, and in geriatrics, including community as well. Okay, maintaining occupation as the core of occupational therapy process. This is very important. When we mapping in terms of occupational therapy process, we need to think in terms of how to put occupation center inside and work as occupation-based practice by focusing on occupation all the time. This is we use in terms of the clinical service. Occupation center practice is where to use occupation-based practice, right, on the right-hand side, and the left-hand side based and focus on occupation. We use ingredient in occupation-based practice, assessment, intervention, evaluation, and based and focus on occupation. In collaboration with person, group, community, and with appropriate awareness of the risks, occupation center should be administered to be managed. Very important. In here, you can see the first is occupational strength and need identified along with relevant background information. some occupation of our client can do now due to their disability, due to many conditions, but we record. And what is that is doing, and now is being. What is their performance? What is the client occupational performance to do? And in the future is likely to be or is can do. Is can promote to do occupation. Priority occupation as identified by person, family, relevant other assets. Sometimes the wording from the client they can do, but in the real we need to evaluate, we need to assess, okay, and set the goal are set in a collaboration with person, relevant other, and reason for problem of occupational performance are clarified. Some occupational performance they cannot do, need to be clarified. Consider the person, environment, maybe we change, adapt environment, compensate the environment, and the client can to do or not, can do or not. And what is the challenge occupation to give for the client, to deliver for the client? Intervention enable occupational engagement and performance. And look at to the outcome are measured in relation to satisfaction, engagement, occupational performance, participation, and well-being. Okay. When we use look like a therapeutics approach, the therapeutic approach, we need to think about the first occupation. If we use intervention to support occupation, some client cannot use the 100% of occupation or activity approach. We can use intervention to support occupation. This approach in the previous time that we call preparatory method, this we call purposeful activity approach. We can use this technique, many techniques put in here. This approach builds skill. So many techniques that we learn maybe in our physical dysfunction, we know about the technique, NDT technique, root Boba technique, or cognitive techniques, cognitive approach, or many techniques. All of it can help is intervention to support occupation, right? It's a build skill to ultimately participate in occupation. One day it's going to be go to real occupation. Okay, this is step one. And after that, go here, occupation-based practice, facilitate through the use of occupation as medium during intervention. We use this as a medium from assessment. We know already why occupation-based goal come to intervention process like this, because evaluation process, assessment, this occupation is need to do, and this because the need is proximal, occupation as proximal. It looks like it's gonna be linked to another occupation. Okay, after that, go to occupation center. Focus on occupation at the end. But it's not the sole approach used to achieve the goal. All of this, it looks like from intervention to support occupation-based center, and the last thing, occupation center, is back to things about in terms of occupation center, because we try to put about this, focus on occupation, they can do like when we evaluate or not. Okay. How occupation is filled into practice or infused into practice. Activity holding person meaning or personal meaning, and cultural and developmental relevant to individual or person, facilitate treatment of the physical, cognitive, psychosocial components of performance. To keep occupation as center of practice, practitioner like you and me, OT, must infill or fill occupation or put occupation into the therapeutic process. Occupation as the mean, incorporate occupation into intervention. Mean is assessment and intervention. Occupation at the end is overarching goal of occupational therapy intervention. That is the product of intervention. Okay, the value of occupation in practice. Participation in occupation has positive health and quality of life outcome for older adults or people or, pe or people with mental illness or children or people with disability or people with physical dysfunction. Occupation center intervention yield better outcome in those with mental illness, reduce decline, improve performance, and enhance behavior among those dementia. This is presumably social and emotional skill for children at the tier 1 universal whole population level. Improve occupational or improve cognitive performance after stroke. This is the value in terms of the research that they put inside. Is the occupation center therapy can promote many conditions that we engage in our client, or we use this approach for the client. In terms of the dark side, or not the dark side, sorry, in terms of the barrier, how to use, how to provide occupation center or occupation-based practice. Sometimes it's very hard due to they have difficulty to use or barrier they got as well. The first is limited equipment, high productivity demand, time constraint, time consumption need a lot, facility generate goal, need facility, physician order. Sometimes physician order is not look like occupation that we set the goal. Sometimes it's go to another way. It's very hard because that is one key of the barrier. Insurance company, limited space, some area, some what we call OT clinical setting cannot make the room for ADL setting or some practice of occupation. Look like about simulation. This is limit space. Lack of education and professional development. Client opportunity to occupation care. And the last thing is client acuity or client perception. Okay, this is the barrier. Okay, this is some special for you as well. Okay, now we in the research we have the researcher group that I know, and Dr. Surinya and Dr. Piraya know. This author or this researcher, Professor Wendy Sapp and Dr. Sarah Pisla. We are the team to promote occupation-based practice. Both of them, they create or establish dynamic model of occupation-based practice. They done already in the research. Now it's going to be they have OBPA as well, occupation-based practice assessment I just know last couple of weeks is published, not just beforehand reliability and validity. Now is the another publication of OBPA as well. But in terms of a dynamic model of occupation-based practice in the research, now is why it's very important. It's very challenging for our Thai OT occupational therapists as well. This is look like a ring. Yeah, we got the model. The model have 4 rings. The first ring that we call authentic occupation. Authentic occupation is very important. Things in terms of occupation as occupation focus. Focus about this. Authentic occupation, real occupation. And another ring is meaningful and purposeful value. Authentic occupation, this the client gives you or you collaborate with is a meaningful and purposeful value or not. And the third is therapeutic intent. How to use therapeutics is intention. Need to be intent more. Think about in terms about this ring and go to the practice. This is just only a model into practice. Engage participation. They use 2 words, engagement and participation as well. This is why it's very challenging for the Thai Occupational Society if we try to put here into the research. Now the master level of our OT student, Pacharawalai Thapsai, she done this research as well. And we invite Professor Wendy Saab and Dr. Sarah Pisra to be a supervisor as well in our projects. Okay, go ahead. Authentic occupation. Authentic occupation is actual doing. Is the occupation, is the actual occupation. Presumably, you got actual doing versus simulated performance. Use actual occupation item. Perform context consistent with occupation. Actual doing, use actual occupation item. Perform in context consistent with occupation. It's very look like a real thing. In terms of about not on authentic, use simulated performance, simulated material and gesturing. That is most of in Thai OT setting is the simulate. Look like stacking cone, plastics, tennis ball and basket, right? We use double curve, single curve, incline board. All of that is simulated. Maybe increase about the skill, increase strength. Okay, have a look in the picture. Use a weight to increase pronate. Sometimes it's good in terms of about that is we call intervention to support occupation. Okay, use a weight into increase pronation. And after that, picture in the middle, you can see pouring bead from one container to another to increase pronation. But it's still simulated. It's the plastic. It's not authentic. Authentic occupation need to think about the real. Look at to the right corner. Reporting tape. A plant. Have a look. Is the real the same position? The meaning located here, or authentic located here. The picture on the right hand side of you. Okay, this is the picture with the plants. Okay, I don't know, this is the orchid maybe. Okay, meaningful and purposeful value. Client identify the meaning, and client can create item execution of task or can manipulate their task. And this is the client associated or related with the client state goal or set goal. Or think about their need, think about their outcome future. If it on here, client identify meaning and all versus with therapy choose. In the previous time, occupational therapy, some people dominate, choose the activity rather than the client, not open opportunity for the client choose to do. The create item execution of task versus exercise. If just exercise, it means the term of exercise that is in here, exercise is a PT, but we let the client to create the item to or execution of task. Have a look in the picture from the left hand side. Therapeutic exercise or putti exercise. Look like you need to isolate, right? Isolate thumb, isolate the finger. We use to have putti, and it's very various of the color from yellow to the pinks or to the red and to the green shade. The yellow is likely to be very easy how to pull it because it's soft. When it sticks more than it's green, right here, make about the strength. If we look at to the middle picture, simplistic game on phone. Use the isolate finger as well, isolate the thumb as well. And the last picture on the right corner, adult game that is meaningful to the client. This might be look like a game and lure the client to use like the thumb to manipulate or isolate or practice is very enjoy and pressure with game. Maybe it's very what we call is attract with Western people or foreign. But in Thai, how to take some activity is attract and challenge for our client. That is waiting for you, waiting for us as well to do for our client. We need to think about this. Therapeutic intent is address skill or occupation need of development. Occupation need in need of development. We try to put about therapeutic intent because this occupation is very relevant for the client. They need to develop the needs of development. Address relative weakness, therapeutical beneficial, address skill. This is just only address skill, or this is they need to be developed. They want to be developed. And need of this develop is the therapeutic intent inside. It will put passion inside because it's real occupation. This is your occupation, their own occupation. It's just only address skill, just only finger, flex and extend. Finish nonsense. It can exercise. And it's just only about not real, it's not the authentics. But this is the occupation in needs of development. The client got patient inside. Okay, have a look, pay card. Okay, and work on the activity instead. That is different in terms of, okay, pay card. Sometimes the client, if we think in terms of working on balance with Xbox connection, it look like take the client, interact and engage into the practice with balance, but with Xbox connects activity inside. Okay, think about lure and take the client into the activity, how to make look like a need for development, that activity, or just only the activity is very boring. Okay, engage participation. This picture helps you actively engage, co-ed or intermittent participation, or passive. We need actively engage, right? But the first, you can see mom in passive role. Why therapists demonstrate advanced massage? That is a passive. And therapist is convincing the mom to engage and do some of the therapy. This is look like intermittent participation. And now the last picture on the right hand side, mom is completing the task while therapist supervise. This is very important, engage participation. That is occupational therapists need to do. Outcome evaluation. That is very important. After we learn from the beginning, we try to use occupation center. In clinical service, we have occupation center, we have occupation-based practice, we focus on occupation or occupational focus, occupation focus. We use the new research in terms of dynamic of occupation-based practice. We know about this ring, got 4 rings. Okay, that is the important. The outcome evaluation in occupation center practice, occupation-based practice, need to be effort promote occupation center practice for OT service. Several tools has been developed. Occupation-based and occupational or occupation-focused tool to evaluate quality of the occupational performance. It's not measured about the number of strength, weakness, or ROM, or the distance of something, or sensation, but the assets for occupational performance. Okay, assessment for motor and process skill. We use M. That is in term, even though the name of this assessment motor and process skill, but it's represent to the motor performance, not just only pure motor, but also skill, process skill as well, not just only strength or about the weight. The second is Canadian model, or sorry, Canadian Occupational Performance Measure, or COPM. That is measure occupational performance. Thus, occupation-based practice assessment, or BPA. And the last one, assess about occupational performance in terms of social participation, or evaluate of social interaction, or ESI. Assessing your own practice as occupational therapist, consider its therapeutic interaction in session, functional mobility, setting balance exercise, adaptive dressing, education to observe precaution. think about single interaction and ask yourself, is this the actual occupation? Is it meaningful to my client? Is it intentionally therapeutics? Therapeutic intent, therapeutic approach? Am I engaging my client? Okay, have a look here. It's very important. You can see inside in here, treatment spectrum. In here, medical model. We use look like about pronate, supinate, right? This is what we call discrete model. Discrete model, when we check the outcome of the dynamic model of occupation, it need to be put the water inside. Okay, from the pipe water, clear water, to put the water inside, no water to put. If we put this no water, it's discrete model, is represent to medical model. If the activity or occupation, or if the activity that we simulate or we deliver to the client, it look like this. In the middle picture, it look like the rings, or you put water, not is the full water. It look like a half of the water into the pipe or to the ring, full ring, like this. But in the middle, it look like a half way. It's maybe in here, in the previous time we call purposeful activity approach. And the last one you can see, this the client pour the water into the grasses, into the grass. This is a real practice like this until the grass can drink the water. That is the process. The water in the ring, falling full. This is occupation based. Okay, this is very easy way to use a picture represent to the rings model of dynamics, model of occupation based practice. Okay, it's need to be look like about gear of the organization in terms of how to move to our or the approach or this model successful. The first is needs about the client. One is the past. Very important to mobilize here client. The system is the second. Maybe the system from OT clinic, from the hospital, from the policy, from environment, from the municipality in this sub-district or tambon, or from the school, or from the setting, okay? From the village, that is all the area for the client stay, from physical environment as well, or from the environment. And the last thing is from the therapist need to move 4 gear and move forward. And it's depend on go to the left or the middle and go to the occupation bed. If the water come to the 4 rings, the shade to be full, it mean occupation is near occupation based practice more. Okay, if it's a half of the water, it mean in the middle. Is no water, it mean discrete model or look like medical model. Okay, they call discrete model. Okay, have a look again. Tip to enhance in terms of practice. Okay, with occupation or occupation based in practice. Okay, intervention to support occupation that we know. Okay, from here, from the bottom, we use about the pronate, supinate, is mean impairment or component based. We increase motor, sensation, cognition, emotion, or etc. And after that, we create occupational kit or simulate. This is purposeful activity, simulated activity, and increased skill. Okay, increased skill. That is mean to use about the create occupation kit. And if we identify occupation commonly engaged by the client, is occupation center, occupation data, and occupation focus. We can use this step to help and navigate how to deliver for occupational therapy service. That is from the research from Professor Wendy and Dr. Sarah as well. And in here, we're going to move this research into practice for the future. Okay, the assessment that we put before about assessment in occupation center practice, occupation focused partner tool, AM, COPM, OBPA, and ESI or ESI as well. Sorry again, ESI. Evaluation of social participation or social interaction due to evaluate the frequency between person report quality of occupation. Okay, if we can summarize in here, MCOPM and OBPA assessment of compare quality occupational performance. ESI assess or assessment the compare quality social interaction or social participation. Okay, significance of occupation center. The process of engaging the client in daily occupation is straightforward. Intrinsic motivation and give a sense of ownership if non-expertise in the activity which they are familiar. This has client intention away from their unit, increase enjoyment of therapeutic activity. This is very important. Distract the client attention away from unit. We try to lure the client if we use occupation at the center, lure, make a client enjoyable, pleasure, and satisfied. Distract their attention from their unit and increase pressure or enjoy of therapeutic activity. Is isolate and focus upon the unique contribution of profession. Occupational therapy is treatment with activity. Okay, this is the significance of occupation center practice. Limitation. The client sometimes resists engaging in activity that may actually illuminate their weakness. Sometimes it illuminates their weakness. They're very, what we call, underestimate themselves. They're scared. They cannot doing or not. It's very hard to do things because the anxiety, not confident. How to motivate them in terms of how to use occupation. This is the job of the client need to approach. Difficulty to determine how clients currently perform their value daily occupation in their actual and life or live environment. This is very important. It's very hard to identify how the client perform their value in daily occupation. Sometimes we need to ask for their relative, their family member. Sometimes they say, yes, I do like this, I do like this 3 times, 5 times, but in the real, maybe how to let them to do because their life. Third is difficulty to determine contextual factor, context, very important, that affect performance of value, daily occupation, daily occupation related context. Some context don't allow to do this occupation or need to adapt to another way. Sometimes it's very important and very difficult to tackle with this. Fourth is arduous to give client on the spot feedback as they are perform their occupation in their home and community. Sometimes it's very hard to look like to give the feedback because we cannot see everything at home. It's the real life activity at their community. We need to be observed or talk with some their family members, give why they cannot doing like that. Okay, if they can tackle with their obstacle or that what we call that barrier, how to make them to be very easy way to do occupation or activity that they want to do. And the last one is complete all of above with existing therapy session at minimal cost. This is above of existing therapy session is minimal cost. Most of treatment need not just only about you put effort inside and not just only about your spirit, but also we need to cooperate with another and money or cost need more to be taken into put inside. We need to mobilize if they cannot do this because their home need is not what we call enable them to do. We need about home adaptation, use about environment, and needs money to fix and change, adapt the home or not. We cannot to evaluate or we cannot use this way to help them. We can evaluate, but in terms of about the budget support, need to think about many agency, the government budgets or local government need to be support as well. Okay, I think it's very appropriate time for learning about the occupations center and related with the clinical service in occupational therapy. Now is the proverb about the medicine at day to life. Occupational therapy at life today. Okay. Thank you very much indeed and see you to the next episode. Okay. Bye-bye.